Hello, Otafest listeners. Welcome to the 40th episode of the Otafest Podcast. This is Jay.
This is G.
This is Angelo.
And there is no Alfred.
Yeah, he's a little bit busy today, isn't he?
He sure is. Because he's moving on in life. Not moving on from the podcast, per se, but you can never really escape Otafest, as we know. But he bought a house recently, so congratulations to him.
Congratulations!
And, Angelo and I helped him move, and we did a lot of crazy fun stuff, I guess.
You guys did the moving of things.
We had shenanigans. Shenanigans are fun.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, shenanigans are always fun.
He had a bow and an arrow, like a real one.
Yes. We found out a lot of weird things.
I found
some strange things in drawers.
He's going to hate you guys so much for this.
Full of invisible things.
Yeah, so many invisible things. Anyways,
hate you guys so much for this. It's going to be hilarious.
We get too far ahead of ourselves, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Voice Up Studios and Dance Energy.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your continued support of our event. I know we haven't actually mentioned Dance Energy before. They were the providers of Maid Cafe space for training our dancers and everything like that. Is that right?
That's correct. Dance Energy is where a lot of that's where Maid Cafe went to practice for the dance for the close session. We use their space quite a bit, and
everything turned out awesome.
I'm glad that everybody thought it was awesome.
We'll talk about it a little bit later, just to give you some more information further on. Because Alfred's not here, I guess I'll be doing news and announcements. So Otafest has an event for an Overwatch tournament. It's the Won't You Take Me to Junkertown Overwatch tournament. Is on Sunday, October 22nd at the Microsoft Store in Chinook Center. You can watch this tournament live on our Twitch channel, otafest.com/Twitch, or you can get off your butt and join the fun at the store location. The first game is going live at 11 a.m., so we'll see you then. Season of Otafest activities continue on with our Halloween J-Horror triple feature at the Globe Cinema on Friday, October 27th at 6 p.m. Ooh. We handpicked 3 classic Japanese horror movies for your enjoyment. Ring, or also Ringu, Ju-on, The Grudge, and Sadako versus Kayako.
I don't know if that's much of a classic, but it's pretty solid.
It sounds pretty awesome.
Look, I'm sorry that not every movie... I'm sorry that not every Japanese horror movie is like the Umbrella Monster or like Kappa's or whatever, okay? I don't make this stuff up. So if you want to come, the tickets are by donation. It's a minimum of $5, so you can watch 3 movies for the price of $5. You can hang out with your friends and get spoopy with us, the Otafest crew.
You can come and cosplay if you want. You can come just hang out if you want.
Yep.
We're all there to have a good time.
You can even pre-purchase your tickets online at otafest.com/Halloween or get them at the door. And finally, Otafest 2018 tickets are also available for purchase online. Order now at otafest.com/tickets for discounted rate. That's pretty much everything I have to say on that. So we hope to see you in the next few weeks, actually. We've got a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah.
As always, trying to fill your days with kind of mini-con goodness. Some of the stuff that we so let's talk about something that we did after we helped Alfred move. Real quick, because I want to move straight into it, because I think it's super cool. I know, G, you haven't been there yet.
I have not. No, the thing we're talking about here is the Rec Room Arcade.
Yeah, so the Rec Room is an arcade. It's a barcade, is the best way to put it. It's like a sports bar plus larger arcade area.
It's got you've got a bar, you've got a restaurant, and then you've
upstairs,
got a huge floor for the arcade.
Yeah, if you want to separate the building itself, it's about there's 3 areas. So 2/3 is essentially restaurant and bar, and then 1/3 is arcade. It's owned by and operated by Cineplex. So if you've ever been to any of their movie theaters and seen their arcades, they're pretty decent. But this one is one that they're actually trying to maintain actively as an arcade.
The cream of the crop.
Yeah, it is. And it's been a super long time since we've had a real arcade that wasn't just a theater arcade.
Calgary's been a little bit sparse on arcades. We've only had the theater arcades after a bunch of them ended up closing down. And it was for various reasons. They all didn't close down at the same time. They all didn't close for the same reason. But we do miss them, and it's good to see that something's coming back for that.
I remember Wizard's Castle in South Center. That was my favorite one.
For me, it was always the Campus Cove.
Campus Cove was also great. Yes.
For me, Calgary people wouldn't know about this one. From Windsor or LaSalle, Ontario, would know Boppers. And I went there all throughout college and high school. Not in that order.
You entered college and they were like, "You are too dumb.
Please go back."
And this is the first time that I've really been able to go to a real arcade since.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And
So
now I'm old enough to buy the beer.
yeah. Well, I mean, don't forget that drinking age in Ontario is different than drinking age in Alberta. I think is it 21 out there?
No,
or is
it's
it Quebec
19.
21?
19.
I think Quebec is 21, and then
Is
Ontario is
Quebec
19.
21?
Yeah, I think so.
Man.
It sucks to be French. Just kidding. I don't know. But it
yeah,
was
no.
real fun. So we were talking about like it is a straight up like old school arcade where you get like tickets that you can trade in for prizes.
I don't know if that's so much an old school arcade. Old school arcade was 100% like quarters, machines.
Yeah, well,
rocket.
you can't have everything the way that it was.
I'm just saying
It's
that's
2017.
That's what old school is.
One
Sure.
thing that actually kind of threw me off at first, although I really do think I like it, is that there isn't really quarters or tokens. You don't really have to worry about cash at all. You get like a little wristband with an RFID tag,
Oh,
and you load that up at like kind of like an ATM station, or you can go to like a booth.
Yeah, and it's like
And then you just scan the wristband at the games to play.
and like
Interesting.
games range from like 4 credits up to like 8. I think was the most really,
I
or
think I
maybe
saw
10.
one that was 10.
Yeah.
And then there was like the photo booth thing that was like 28 credits.
Yeah, and I see that like I can tell that like, you know, if you say like, oh, it's 10 credits and it's like, how expensive is that? I don't like the reason why they do that, to be honest, is so you can't keep track of your money that well. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
That
but
is really why.
I will say that like for $15 you get 80 credits, so that's not that bad.
no, that's pretty good actually.
And when I say old school, because there are some old school mechanics at work. So they had Super Street Fighter 4. One cabinet. There's only one cabinet, so I'm kind of disappointed, but I get that fighting games aren't everyone's thing.
At the same time, I can accept that because I can play Street Fighter 4 at home with a beer.
Yes.
I don't have to go somewhere to do that.
And I yelled at both you and Alfred because I was like, I'm not playing Street Fighter 4. I can do it at home. And then Alfred turned around to me and he's like, you're the reason why arcades are dead. I'm like, no, I'm not. You think I have enough money to support arcades in Calgary? But I still did play in the end, just because I was intrigued. And, you know, they had the old school mechanic of you being able to like pay once. And then if you won, no payment. Other people can pay for your games.
Winner stays on. Kind
Exactly.
Of
Yeah,
So-
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it reminds me of good old times, playing like MVC 1 and 2 and things like that, Guilty Gear, all those great games of yesteryear.
I remember those
They had
playing
a
on
DDR
arcade.
machine, but it wasn't exactly DDR.
It was,
I don't know what the name of it
what
was.
was it? It was like Beat Me Up.
But
Beat
it was
Me Up,
instead
Scotty.
of like
Was
up,
it in the
down, left,
groove?
and right, it was the 4 corners in the center.
Yeah.
Was it ITG in the groove?
It wasn't ITG.
No.
ITG is up, down, left, and right, just like DDR.
Oh, was it Pump It Up?
Yes.
Pump It Up. That's
Pump
what
It
I
Up.
think it is.
And it had Korean songs and stuff like that. I remember that.
I know my rhythm games.
Yeah. They had a VR booth area. I think they had like 2 setups for VR. They had some weird like holographic rock climbing wall.
I'm not sure how that one works.
I don't really care.
They had the an old Jurassic Park shooter.
Yep.
Although
Yeah.
me and Jay didn't get to play it because there was a lineup for it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't get to play it.
I've played that one at a couple of theaters though, so I don't know how.
They have a real bitchin' Star Wars game. It's like Star Wars like TIE Fighter-ish.
I'll have to go check it out one
It's
of these
real
days.
cool.
Maybe a Saturday or something like that. I'll go check
Yeah,
it out.
it was busy enough because it only opened really recently, so there was actually a line going out of it.
Yeah.
But it's not really a long wait from what we found, except the restaurant was a longer wait because they only have so many tables and people tend to take a while to eat.
I wasn't disappointed with the wait for the restaurant because like you can play games while you're waiting.
That's true. And in the restaurant area, even though we didn't take part, it's kind of pubish. So there's ping pong, there's pool, shuffleboard I saw as well.
Yeah.
We didn't take part because we were down playing digital games, but yeah, there's traditional stuff too.
So it's an interesting place, worth checking out.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't know what percentage of our listeners are like, let's say, under the age of 18, for example.
And
but
all
I have
those listeners, after 10 p.m., get out.
Yeah, I have a good feeling.
So it's actually fine up until 10 p.m. Anybody can go.
10 p.m. is adults only.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a feeling though that basically, you know, a lot of kids haven't really experienced a real arcade outside of a like theater arcade in a long time. I think the only one I can think of is Cross Iron has one, which is again a Cineplex one, which is a little bit more arcadey than some of the other theater ones.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things here and there that you're gonna have to.
And the one in West Edmonton Mall.
Yeah.
So,
I went to the one in West Edmonton Mall. It must have been like 10 or 15 years ago, and it was disappointing as hell.
Well, see, that's the thing right now. Like, I'm thinking of the arcade, and I'm just seeing it through nostalgia glasses right now at the moment. Whether or not when I actually go there and check it out, it'll be the same, I can't say for certain. But it's probably worth checking out, and then if it's your thing, rock it. If it's not your thing, so be it.
Yeah.
I can see myself going there much more often.
Although
Next time I can't be designated driver.
Although, where is it located again?
it's just in the northwest. Northeast.
Deerfoot City.
Deerfoot, where Deerfoot Mall used to be.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that Deerfoot Mall complex area.
Exactly.
Okay.
Pretty
cool.
easy to get to. And the thing is like, it's not really surprising that rec rooms have been spreading around because it's not like this is the first one. Like I said, it's owned by Cineplex Entertainment, so they've had a few other ones in other major cities before they moved into Calgary. So they know that the concept can work, at least for them.
Right,
It's
right.
just a matter of how many like a certain city can maybe support. Like I think maybe Calgary can support two, one in the north and one in the south. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm mostly interested in how they're going to maintain their machines because, as we know, like one of the biggest things is like they're probably taking a huge loss on arcade machines because they know they should be able to make it up in food and drink because food and drink have huge markups, whereas machines, once you buy them or rent them, all the money you take in from them is for maintenance because, you know, they have a high percentage of wear and tear.
But that's the
Especially
thing.
like the rhythm games like Pump It Up.
Yeah, that's the thing though. In the past, it was always the arcades that maintained their machines and always had them up and running that were the popular ones. Those were the ones that everybody always went back to. They were willing to go spend their money at.
Yeah.
And then the ones that, as you saw, they stopped taking care of their machines and everything. Little by little, people stopped showing up. They were like, it's not worth it to go to this arcade because they don't take care of the machines. It's not worth playing a broken machine.
It's also worth noting that I didn't see any kind of time crisis like games where remember those light guns?
Yeah,
basically?
light
They're
guns
not
are
very.
solid.
They're aiming. I guess
A lot of
algorithms
their
and stuff are
gun
really
games like that. They were on like a turret style controller as opposed to like a light gun.
because I think light guns are they're
more
harder.
fun.
They're more fun, but they're harder to maintain.
They are
Not really harder to maintain. They're just easier to break.
Yeah,
like they're on
well,
like
you know.
a cable which immediately can get tangled or broken. People can trip over it.
Yep.
If you have really angry people who are drinking in your barcade,
That's
they
the
might
other thing I'm
strangle each
thinking
other
about.
with the cable. I don't know if this.
No, I'm not
but-
worried about the strangling. I'm actually curious because it is a barcade. I'm kind of curious to see how their machines are going to be treated.
That's true.
Because
Drunk people plus
Drunk
anything.
people
I can
plus
already
anything
imagine
equals 10
someone
times.
double fisting beers on the Pump It Up machine, trying to drink both of it while playing.
Oh
games,
no! And then they just like spill some
destroying
as well,
everything.
and they spill some as well, and they just like destroy themselves. They just smack the back of their head on the support bar behind them, and then rip.
yeah, that's basically what I'm curious about. I'm curious to see what's going to go on with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the rec room.
I'm
Check it out
still
if you
really
want.
excited, and I'm going back. I know that much.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Speaking more, I think this is going to be a game centric ish episode a little bit because I wanted to talk about some Overwatch stuff. Obviously, we have the Won't You Come to Junkertown event, and that's coming up real soon on the weekend right before Halloween.
But right now, there's another event happening.
The
on
actual Overwatch, the
Yeah.
actual Overwatch Halloween events, which are
An entire year, I went without Witch Mercy.
Now you got her?
I did not have Witch Mercy as one of my skins for 365 days.
Are you saying that you got her or not?
Immediately I got her. The game updated, I went in and I was like, use the coins. Get the Witch Mercy.
Use the coin.
Fair
Use the coins.
Yeah. I have to say that, like, while the skins look nice as usual for the most part, I'm not very enamored by the lack of new content, like actual content. Basically, you're playing like
Same
Junkenstein
event from last year, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not surprised by that.
they updated icon walls to be all Halloweeny, kind of like how they did with Hollywood last year.
I get that.
They've overhauled another map. They added a bunch of skins. They made Junkenstein's Revenge much harder.
Oh, significantly
They
harder.
changed up the mechanics of how it plays because they added new NPCs, and then also don't forget that the way Mercy plays now is like, you know,
Yeah.
Like, if you were expecting a completely new event, you're gonna be disappointed.
I just want to point out that Overwatch is only in its second year.
More rich
But
version of the same event.
here's the
We
thing.
know it's raking in money. Yeah, but we know that Blizzard's raking in money, and we know it's only in its second year of development.
But guys,
I'm a little bit disappointed because Summer Games got new content.
Did it though? Did it really?
Not really.
They made
It had Lucio Ball,
Yeah.
and then they added competitive Lucio Ball.
Yeah.
Is that really much different?
well, they're not giving a.
And
They're
then they just had more skins.
I get that, but I'm saying like they're not even going to keep Junkenstein as a mode that's open for us.
I mean, Lucio Ball's not open right now.
Yeah.
Then what is the point?
It's
These
just-
These
it's
are
a
strictly
seasonal thing.
seasonal events. They show up once a year. They have a fun time with it. That's about it, really. If you look at it, they added the endless Junkenstein mode this year, right? Was that there last
Exactly.
year?
No, that
Yeah.
didn't exist last year.
Fine.
Like,
I
you
still
had the
think
4 difficulties last year, and they were really cut down compared to this year. There were, I think, like 8 waves instead of like 12.
Ooh. So what you're saying is it was a lot easier last year to get the achievements, and then this year
Yeah.
you kind of got wrecked.
You got work
what
for
I'm
it this
hearing
year.
is I can already predict what we're going to get for Christmas.
100% yes. If you look at Blizzard's track record for these kind of things, they repeat the same event over and over.
But this is a different
again.
IP than some of their other stuff, though. Like a
StarCraft
lot of-
doesn't really have events. World of Warcraft has the exact same events every year. Diablo has the exact same events every year.
Diablo has events.
Yes.
Man, it's been so long since I played.
And lo and behold, Overwatch, they're going to have the exact same events every year
I guess.
with little changes here and there. That's
Like
what Blizzard
skins.
does.
I mean, I guess it works for them. It's just it's annoying because like it's new products, new IP. I feel like they could be trying new things.
Yeah, they could be, but they
But
just
you know,
won't.
they still make money, so who cares, right?
Exactly. That's kind of the thing.
Yeah. Obviously, we have, like I said, we have Halloween plans for
Yes, we do.
Otafest stuff. But do you guys have any Halloween plans for yourselves?
I don't really have anything concrete right now for Halloween.
I got a couple of things that I have potential.
I am mad that I'm an adult without children around because I just want, honestly, okay, first of all, I know that sounds creepy out of context, but I just want to say that, like, I'm legit about getting free candy, and I'm just sad that I got shamed, you know, for, like, I haven't gone trick-or-treating in probably 4 or 5 years, but I'm just saying, like,
See, but here's the thing, though. You're not a giant like us. You could probably dress up in an appropriate costume that
My
covers
last
your face.
year of trick-or-treating was 18. Because as soon as I turned 19, I could get into the pubs for Halloween.
yeah, but you have to pay for stuff like that. I
Yeah.
just want free candy. Like,
No.
I legitimately
Man,
want
could
free
you imagine
candy.
trick-or-treating around pubs and they give you a shot?
You would get
You would die.
You would die.
You would die, straight up.
So many people would die.
Yeah, but like I legitimately trick or treated until I was like 22. But I also understand that trick and treat culture is basically dead as we know it
I was 16, at which point they kept questioning my age.
because you were like 6'10"
I'm not that tall.
and you had like a beard on par with, you know, like Zeus.
Regardless of those reasons, I was 16, and my beard was not Zeus-like at that time.
Dude,
but
I was 8 when people started asking me if you're too old for trick-or-treating. I'm like, fuck you, I'm not too old. I'll see you here in 10 years.
yo,
I'll see you in hell.
Oh, and behold, 10 years later, I was at their goddamn door.
that's the thing, though. There was one of those things. Like, when I was a lot younger, everybody was like, oh, yeah, trick-or-treating. We don't care how old you are. Like, there was groups of, like severely
When I
older
was, like,
teenagers when I was, like, 12 and
7
stuff
or 8,
like that.
there were still, like, groups of, like, 20-year-olds trick-or-treating that I
Yeah.
saw.
Like when I was a kid, I remember older kids trick or treating. Like I said, I didn't stop until I was about 22, if I remember correctly. With that being said, like I said, like I think that trick or treat culture is basically dead. Like Halloween still exists as a holiday kind of thing, but I mean, it's
I don't
mostly
see that many kids going around
house
these
parties or parents taking their kids to the mall. And can I tell you the number one thing that pisses me off about parents taking their kids to the mall? These parents aren't 50-year-old parents who like have really young kids or something like that. Like they're not like super old or anything like that. Or sorry,
What's the
no,
point
that's
of
not the way
going
around.
to the mall
Sorry,
for trick or
they're not
treating?
super
It's
young.
not like you're going to see the awesome Halloween decorations at a mall. Like
No. Sorry. Like what I meant to say was, I went off in the wrong direction. They're not old parents. I meant they're not young parents. They're not, or they are young parents, but they're not young enough parents to have been the kids who go to the mall for trick or treating. Right. Those parents are basically maybe 5 years ahead of my age, for example. I'm 27, or maybe around 27 as an age in general, right? Yep. And those kids, you know damn well that they went outside to trick or treat. Why are they now taking their kids to malls?
Because it's easier.
I honestly don't know.
It's because the mall has Wi-Fi.
Honestly, like half of what made trick or treating worth it for me was seeing all the different like Halloween decorations
outside.
All of that was like the biggest part of it. Of course, there was free candy, but it was more than just free.
It was the experience.
Like I would because I didn't live near a lot of my friends, and sometimes a few years I would go with my friends. Like if I went over to a friend's house before to get ready and all that stuff. But I remember years where I would just walk outside, and I'd see a group of kids, and I'd be like, "Hey, can I like join up with you?" And they'd be like, "Yeah," because we're all after the same goal. It's very mob mentality. I love it.
It was a collective. We're all collectively under the assumption
we're here to loot.
We're here to get candy.
Exactly.
We don't really care if anybody else joins us. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Hell, even if we have a larger group, sometimes we get more candy. Let's rock. Like it wasn't a big deal. Nowadays, people don't interact as much. You barely see anybody out trick or treating. It's weird.
It's real sad. I'm not a fan of it at all. But
I kind of understand where some people are coming from as well, because it's a little bit scarier these days. Not because of Halloween, but because of the world in general.
Well, that's the worst. If you go by like crime statistics and stuff, there's never been a safer time for it.
But it's not just crime statistics. It's the
a
perception and the perception.
It's perception.
It's all mind games.
Yeah.
It's nothing, like, the truth is there's nothing we can do about it, you and I. It's a little disappointing because it's a part of our childhood experiences that are dying.
We dress up and go trick-or-treating.
This year?
Yeah. Like 28-year-olds.
Let's hit up like 2 houses and then be like, all right, I'm an adult. I have to buy my own candy.
For this shit.
It's more like I do realize I have the money to buy. I have the money to buy my own candy, and that's not even the real thing. I don't love all candy. There are more candies I like, and I know
oh my God,
that I can wait.
Is when you would go to a house and they would give you a bag of chips,
and
they'd always be like Lay's original, like just plain chips, not even flavorful.
Not even like Cheetos or anything like cool.
I mean, I kind of like original over Cheetos.
Well, that's because Cheetos are great, but original Lay's like one bag, not literally half of the pillowcase.
The best was literally when if you were a late crew, because if you were still around 10 or 11 p.m. remember, people just want to get rid of their candy, so you're like, yes please, and they're like, here's 2 handfuls of candy, kid, get out of here.
See, it wasn't like that for me when I was younger. It was very much the case of my neighborhoods. They stayed up late, they rocked it out, and I don't see that as much anymore, because
that's also one thing that's happening, especially when it's like just younger kids.
Yeah.
People go out at 6 when it's still light out.
Yep.
Even they go for like half an hour, and then they're gone, and then the streets are just barren.
Yeah, like at 8:30, if you still see kids out there, it's because they're the legendary orphan.
I remember
the feral orphans of Calgary.
I remember Halloween being one of the best times because I could stay out until 1 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
I was like 10 o'clock and staying till like 11:30 trick-or-treating. I'd get like 2 full pillowcases.
Yes.
Yo, I made several trips. I would loot up, then I'd go home, drop off the pillowcase, grab another one, go out,
the best
loot up
is when
again.
You got like a super full pillowcase and you're so like tired and thirsty, and then someone gives you a can of pop.
Yeah.
And then you're just like not even going to the bag. That I'm cracking it open right now.
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
Power up and then rock it again.
The only Like the worst parts of trick-or-treating were literally just when you came to a house that asked you to be like, oh, I choose trick, you're gonna have to sing a song for your candy, and then your candy was like those really bad toffees.
Yeah,
in the orange wrappers.
See, there was some houses that were like,
also rockets.
You
I really
need
don't
to
like
sing.
Rockets. They're like eating chalk.
Yeah, but that was the thing though. There were some houses that were like, you need to do a song or something like that, and I was like, oh, really? They're like, it'll be worth it, and I was like, all right, fine, check it. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Check it.
And they were like, you did a pretty good job. You know what? Here's like 3 full-size chocolate bars. I was like, dude, if you told me before, I would have like.
You would have been like, you would have auditioned
for
you would have auditioned for like Canada's Next Top Idol or whatever the heck they want to do.
I would have been willing to. Like, I would have rocked it out there.
There were always certain houses when I was trick-or-treating where if you had like a full costume, if it wasn't just like a simple like store-bought piece or something that looked like you pulled it out of a closet at last minute, if you were decked out, they would give you full-size shit.
That's right.
It was great.
You know, it's funny. It's one of those things I'm just like, there's all these times where it's like, Halloween was the time where people got candy and stuff like that. I'm just like thinking, you know what's another time people dress up and like totally rock it out? At cons. Why isn't there like a Halloween equivalent to cons?
Why isn't there a Halloween
because
anime con?
I don't know. That's not my problem.
I don't know. It's just weird concept. I'm thinking crazy things.
It's fine. Okay, so before we continue on, I'd like to read out for a little sponsor of ours, Dance Energy. We thank you for your contribution to our Maid Cafe and Otafest in general. Thank you for... it's the first year they ever sponsored with us, so I just want to thank them for joining our community, basically, and seeing a little bit of what we're all about. I'm sure they've received, some kind of notice about what, like, how important, like, what they gave us was, because, it's pretty unique. So here we go. Dance Energy is Calgary's most friendly and welcoming ballroom, Latin, country, swing, and tango school of social dance. It is our organization's greatest responsibility to bring factions together, encourage tolerance, and build team spirit. We promote community participation and development by providing a fun, active, and safe dance learning environment. Our goal is for you to find your joy in life while learning to dance. We believe that dancing changes people's lives, builds great relationships, and keeps you young and healthy. Once you are dancing with ease and comfort, join us for our Friday night practice parties and Saturday night open dances to have fun, socialize, or just improve your skills. Visit danceenergy.ca for more information on classes, events, and rental inquiries. We'll see you on the dance floor. Again, thanks, Dance Energy, for helping us out at the May Cafe. We got, 20 people really eager to learn how to do a performance for, a day's worth of con.
Yeah, no, honestly, it was a blast. One of the things I really remember was we had a lot of our practice on Fridays, and after we would finish, that Friday dance that they were talking about would be rocking it out. And we were having a blast because we were all having a good time learning the dance and everything. So we came out smiling, and on top of that, as we came out and there was this Friday dance going on, you literally looked around and you saw people smiling and having a good time. Like, it was definitely a warm, welcoming environment there. So it's good times.
Dancing is actually something I'd like to pick up, but
difficult, right?
Honestly, it's not a money thing. It's really just a time and effort thing. Like, I guess I just don't want it enough yet, but I would like to go. Like, I recognize that much. So
that's fair. Dancing is really tiring. Like, it is.
Oh,
good
yeah.
Exercise.
It is heavy cardio.
And I'm a big guy who should dance a lot more.
That's fair.
You're not the only big guy here.
And it's also, like, it is a really cool social skill. Like, I'm not saying you have to be, the most amazing, but I mean, it's nice to know. It helps with the coordination and all that stuff too, right? So there's not really a downside I can think of.
One of the things was some of us who did start with that dance practice, we didn't have a lot of background knowledge. We had barely next to no knowledge of how to dance properly, and lo and behold, with enough practice, we learned it. And as you guys saw during the closed sessions for the Maid Cafe, as well as during the closing ceremonies, they did an amazing job. So
thank you again, Dance Energy. Is basically what we were trying to say.
Yes.
So let's do a little bit of follow-up, I guess. I know, Angelo, you are one of our resident anime experts.
Yes.
And we did a little bit of a preview episode before. I a few of the episodes have released now, so I'm sure you've gotten 1 or 2 weeks worth of content. What did you hate?
I actually haven't watched much that I hate so far.
Ooh.
But there was that one show that we watched. What was that little sister show? What was the title of it?
I know what you're talking about.
You'll
look at the episode, you'll be
because
fine.
I was ranting about how bad that show would be. The first 2 minutes of the first episode made me cringe and want to tear my heart out. It was everything that this is
wrong with
weapon
anime
to surpass Arrow Manga Sensei. This show is so. The first 2 minutes were so bad. And then the rest of it was actually really compelling. I genuinely liked the characters, except the main character who was completely unredeemable.
Really?
Really?
You told me about this a little bit earlier, like, you know, when I asked your opinion for it, and I was gonna say, like, are you sure it wasn't like it became better, like it's an actually kind of okay anime, or were the first 2 minutes just so bad that everything else after would have seemed like, oh, this is acceptable? Even if it's still trash
A little
tier.
bit of that is definitely going on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Jay's got a really solid point there. Like, there are times where you watch something so bad that if they do anything better than that terribleness, you're just like, you know what, this is pretty good.
Because at least it wasn't that
terrible.
Yeah, at least it wasn't that thing.
But honestly, like, anyone out there who either secretly enjoyed or actually enjoyed or just challenged himself to watch something like Arrow Manga Sensei or no Emo. What was that one? I Can't Believe My Little Sister Is This
Cute? Yeah.
If you liked either of those, you'll probably like this one.
Okay.
Okay.
But there's 2 shows I think that you really liked.
Yes.
Machine Man, Old Man Dude.
Inuyashiki.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode and I really enjoyed it.
You were already like advocating that you thought it was going to be a good show, but it kind of like helped confirm.
It looked cool. I really didn't know anything about it other than I looked at a cute few pictures and read the synopsis.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm hyped. And then I actually watched the episode and like I said, it's an old man. Nobody likes him for some reason, even though he's a nice dude. He finds a dog, a stray dog by the river. And
his crime is his age
because he loves it.
Yeah,
and then
the dog
bullshit happens, and he gets turned into a robot.
The dog gets turned into a robot?
No, the man.
No, the
the old man.
Okay, the old man gets turned into a robot.
Do you think the dog dies?
It puts him through like an existential crisis until he sees some kids beating on a hobo, basically. And he's like,
hobo justice must prevail.
I have to save this hobo.
Yeah.
And in doing so, he's like, you know, I'm a robot now, but I'm still human.
Yes.
I actually really liked that first episode, and I really want to see where this anime goes.
Fair enough.
Interesting.
I genuinely liked it.
That sounds strange enough that I might consider it.
And the second one was...
The other one was Shoujo Shumatsu Ryoko, Girls Last Tour.
Right. Wait. But there's this thing about, like, there's post-apocalyptic 2 girls on a bike, and then regular 2 girls on a bike.
The other one is called Two Car.
Okay.
I haven't watched that one. I just straight up haven't watched that one. But Girls Last Tour, 2 girls in like a post World War II apocalypse.
It's alternate universe history.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's clearly the weapons, the tools, the vehicles are all things that you would have seen on a World War II battlefield. The setting is clearly World War II very much got out of control.
Where is it actually set though? Like, is it World War II Japan or World War II Europe?
Possibly Europe, but it's hard to say from the setting. It's just the 2 characters are in the first 2 episodes. They're the only humans we've seen.
Oh, okay.
As far as we can tell,
You can't tell with like architecture or anything.
they're the only 2 left.
Is it like everything
Oh.
is destroyed all around them?
Yes,
That's big rippity.
It is
All right.
like, think of like bombed out ruins.
So what you're saying is they could be ghosts all along.
It's
And you
constantly
don't
snowing.
know. They could be ghosts.
It might be that it's a
Oh my God, it's like a nuclear winter? Oh boy.
That might be happening. Like, this is all just speculation from watching it. But it's basically cute girls doing cute things in a post-apocalypse with some really black humor going on.
Interesting.
That actually does sound pretty intriguing.
I've really liked the first 2 episodes. It's really cute. The setting's interesting, and it's exactly what I was expecting.
I'm morbidly curious about this because there was this one anime I remember watching where it was a couple of girls in a school setting, and
Gakko Garashi.
Was that the one where like
School Live zombies?
Yeah. So they're like just hanging out in the school and like
I love that one
going
too.
through their school days, and it was like, oh, this is kind of, you know, school life, slice of life, whatever. And then
That
the more you
show
watch
was
it, you're just like,
depressing.
hold on a second, everybody else is dead. Like they're all
Even the one character you think is alive is dead.
yeah, one of the characters you think is like actually like they're talking with, no, that person's already dead. That's a hallucination.
I don't know if I really care about the Sixth Sense angle though.
No, it was really well done, and
It wasn't that.
It was
It was
basically everybody knew
brain
that everybody
problems.
was dead. There was just one girl who was suffering so severely from trauma. She just imagined everything was fine still.
Wow, that's pretty heavy.
Like it was messed
It
up.
was legit to shit good.
Yeah.
I hear the anime butchered the manga. So apparently the manga's even better, and I loved the anime.
Yo, that's intense.
I like that.
Speaking of things like that, there was actually a movie that came out. There was a screener recently in Calgary that I went to that I thought was kind of interesting. The No Game No Life Zero.
Oh,
Yeah. So
I actually watched No Game No Life. That was one of the few ones that I've watched.
have you both watched No Game No Life?
Yeah, I haven't seen the movie.
Okay, you know how fun and enjoyable No Game No Life is, and it's like kind of goofy and
Yeah, it's
like
alright.
entertaining, upbeat. Movie's not like that.
Oh no.
I was expecting that,
Oh no.
and then it just like super dark turn. I was like, what is going
Is it
on?
canonical?
It's a prequel.
Oh,
oh boy.
oh no!
It shows you what
I
happened.
just had to imagine. I
still
just
wanna see
imagined
it.
what
Yo,
happened.
it basically shows you what happened to that world of games.
Yeah.
Like that.
Before that,
All the gods like warring and then just Tet left
see.
over.
Yeah.
It's like the story of that.
it shows you the war.
That's pretty
That's
crazy.
awesome.
That
Yeah.
sounds like
And I thought it was really well done.
That
It was
kind
really
of lore.
entertaining. Basically, a lot of the stuff that happens, it's like that makes a lot of sense. Like it was well done.
That kind of war almost makes me think of lineups at McDonald's.
Speaking of Line of McDonald's, you mean something like a Rick and Morty thing that happened at McDonald's?
Oh my god. Okay, so I know we haven't actually really talked about Rick and Morty. I don't really know why. Well, I guess part of it is because I haven't watched it. And I don't know how many people have. With
I don't
all of us.
actively watch it, but I really enjoy the terrible fandoms of the
I've watched
internet.
all of it.
I don't know any of. I don't really know much about the horrible fandom part. I'm
Something,
actually gonna
something,
actively.
Pickle Rick, something Szechuan sauce.
Cool. I'm
That's
never
all I
gonna
have
get
to
into
know.
it. My resolution is I'm not gonna get into any of the terrible fandom stuff because I just finished watching it because it's really super simple to watch. It's 3 seasons. It's it's about 10 episodes a season and they're 20 minutes each. Not a big deal, and it was somewhat entertaining. It's clever. There's a lot of what do you would call it, like. There's a lot of irony in how it presents itself, I would say. Like, the way that all the things are... How everything is scripted and to try and subvert the general way that, like, cartoons are written. They try not to follow too much of that kind of generic script writing, I find. But overall, I mean, it's been a pretty fun and funny watch. I do really like where they're going with like story type episodes, because I have to say, like, I think it was like episode 9 that is when you get a taste of like what the story it actually becomes with like Evil Morty and everything like that. So that's
Evil Morty.
But I'll also be honest that like the first 6 episodes, I was like, all right, this is a show, but like, I mean, it was something I was putting in the background, and then I started paying attention around episode 8 or so.
It's definitely one of those shows. It's at first it seems like totally random and stuff like that, and then you like start paying a little bit more attention, and you see like they're taking your standard tropes for like, this is what happens in this type of show, this is what happens in this type of show, and then it's like, yeah, this is what happens normally, this is what's gonna happen here, and it twists all those regular old tropes, and it makes it a little bit funnier, I guess, for me. But at the same time, other things, it literally has them one for one exactly like it is in other shows, and you're like, wow, this is so ridiculous. But that's because of it shows you in the correct context of like just how ridiculous stuff like that is.
I just overall, like, it's definitely a fun show. It's got a good sense of reality to it for some reason. Like, I mean, like, it's a grumpy old asshole, his like naive dumbass kid or grandkid, a son-in-law that you don't have to like, like a daughter who's kind of a bitch, and like his granddaughter who has her own set of problems. Like, I kind of like how they present everything, and there doesn't have to be like a stupid like pet mascot and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, no, like in all honesty, everybody in that show has issues. Yeah, everybody.
I'm kind of cool with that, even though
Are you suggesting that Rick and Morty is Neon Genesis Evangelion?
Not exactly.
I'm gonna say it's a lot better.
Ooh, shots fired.
Oh no! I want to read the YouTube comments.
It's definitely, they try really hard to, again, like they try to avoid all the tropes. That's the number one thing that I've noticed.
Or they actually point those tropes out and
they break the fourth wall semi often.
Yeah.
But like, without getting too spoilery, like, I've been enjoying it, and I can see why people do like it. I don't understand the level of fandom for it. I think it's mostly just because there's this whole like, oh, it's like super cool and only super cool people really watch it or follow it.
The fandom thing,
you have a 200 IQ to understand.
That's kind of what I'm trying. Like, I think that's definitely a part of that.
Okay,
mentality.
Here's the thing with fandoms. Regardless of whatever thing you like, the fandom for it, there's going to be some people who are in it and that are good.
And then there's going to be a large vocal group that are like all vocal groups on the internet.
Yeah, because I mean, you can consider anything. There's hockey, there's D&D, there's anime, there's, I don't know, math even. Like, there's people who are fans of these kinds of things out there.
Who are jerks.
And
They're
they love it
toxic.
because they love it. And then there's those toxic people that you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
And they exist in every fandom.
That's true.
Like, 20 years later, people are still arguing whether Rei or Asuka is best girl.
It's clearly
Asuka's best girl.
it's clearly
Fight me.
yeah. I will say, like, a little bit of not really a huge spoiler. Screw it. I don't give a crap. But like, my favorite joke moment so far is when you know how Rick has to transport his mind to a bunch of different other Ricks as he's trying to like escape.
Yeah, not just Rick's, but he's transported his mind around. Yeah,
and then he did there was this thing where like the ship he was incoming on at the time, he managed to like get into the commander of like back at like this base. Like, he got in his mind, he's just like, nope, he's a traitor, shoot him. That very moment, I'm just like, I like that a lot. Just like, yeah, we're just gonna whatever, and then I'm gonna go to the bar. Bye.
No, it wasn't I'm going to the bar, it was I'm going to the bathroom.
Oh yeah, bathroom. Shit. Yeah, he was going to the bathroom all the time.
He's like,
I liked it a lot.
He's a traitor, blow him up, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and take a shit.
Yeah.
It was great, actually. It was really great.
I just like it because it was stone cold, and it's like, yeah, of course it's stone cold. It's Rick, and that's the way he has to be in that situation. It makes sense.
But that's the way he always is. He's always like,
bleh.
Bleh.
Yeah.
And the best thing about it was there's one characteristic about him is always like, when he drinks heavily, so like he always has like a little bit of throw up at the side of his mouth.
Yep.
Every time he transported into a new body, there's always that
just
throw
more
up there.
throw up. Yeah. They do pay attention to some really decent details, so I really appreciated that.
Yeah, no, it was really great.
All right. Before we move on, I'd like to thank our second sponsor for this episode, Voice Dubs.
Voice Dubs is an international media studio based out of Calgary. They specialize in providing custom video and voiceover production services with the ability to deliver in over 50 languages. With partner studios in Tokyo and Beijing, Voice Dubs manages the entire production process from translation to casting to post-production, allowing you to focus on what you do best, running your business. See why some of the top companies across the world have chosen Voice Dubs for their video and voiceover production needs at www.voicedubs.com. Interested in joining the voiceover industry? VoiceDubs offers educational events where industry professionals come to teach you what you need to know. Subscribe at www.voicedubs.com to stay updated.
And go. So, yeah, thank you again, VoiceDubs, for helping sponsor our Otafest Idol event. We hope that you'll join us again for next year, because it's such a valuable prize and experience for our winner.
Yeah, no, we really appreciate it.
Moving on, I believe there's something. Oh, there's been a lot of cool movies that came out recently. They're all kind of a little bit nerdy, but
Cool
interesting.
movies that have come out and that will be coming up fairly shortly.
Yes. I haven't watched everything that we're going to be talking about. I don't think any of us have watched everything that we're talking about.
I haven't watched anything we're talking about.
Excellent. It's my favorite to know that.
Well, at the same time, you can tell us what movies you're hyped for.
And then he said nothing.
I guess he's not hyped about anything. I don't know.
I'm not much of a moviegoer.
I have been more of a moviegoer since we finally got like another legit movie theater in Calgary that is more fun than the other one kind that we have.
Are you talking about Landmark?
Yeah, I am, but I don't want to like shit on things too often. It's not like
I'm just gonna say I enjoy Landmark.
I enjoy Landmark. I don't hate Cineplex.
Yeah.
I don't hate them. They're just kind of like the basic standard for movie going. Whereas like the Rec Room stuff is cool, but when we're talking about movie theaters, they offer like the most basic level. Whereas opposed to like Landmark, I feel like I'm having an extra good time. I really like those recliners. Is what it comes down to, because I got a fat ass and they have like 3 cup holders on each recliner.
The reclining seats are actually really nice.
Yeah.
The theater layout is nice. They give you a lot of room.
It feels nice and clean.
Yep, it's clean.
I'm not saying that Cineplex is not, but Landmark has been giving a slightly more premium experience.
I enjoy the fact that Landmark has vanilla Coke.
Oh yeah, they have the nice.
They have vanilla Coke.
Yeah, they have the
they
nice.
do.
Those multi-dispenser Coca-Cola machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have like 30 different flavors of everything.
Holy cow.
So they use those ones, and they still do free refills
Nice.
on large size products. Whereas Cineplex doesn't do that anymore at all. They used to, not anymore.
Okay.
So it's just a little bit, and they have similar pricing. If you want to go on a cheap Tuesday, they have cheap Tuesdays.
They've got cheap Wednesdays as well.
Do they really?
Yeah, they've got a 2-person deal on Wednesdays.
Oh, okay. I mean,
I'm not promoting them or anything. I'm just saying I love them and I know about these things.
Yeah, it's date night for you and Dio, so that'd be good, right?
Basically.
And it's closer to her house.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah, so you should go. But I saw Kingsman there recently, The Golden Circle. I really liked the first one. I remember.
The first one
it's
was
just
a
super
goddamn
fun.
masterpiece.
Yeah, and that's why I'm okay with sequels now. If their first movie was at least really good on its own, it's like one of my favorite movie franchises is like RoboCop. The first movie is great, but number 2 and 3 kind of suck balls. So basically, I don't know. It was a real good time for the second one. It's very like Americanized, not in a bad way, but literally it takes place in America.
America.
And the only downside is like that Channing Tatum, who is supposed to be part of the movie, really has like 5 minutes of screen time, and I don't really understand why he's there. That's the only super bad thing I found about The Golden Circle. The story is a little bit weaker, but overall the production quality and everything like that is still there. It's still a good movie if you like the first one. You should go see it. I think
I definitely will eventually.
Eventually.
It's just a matter of actually doing it.
Go on a Tuesday. I'm not saying it's a money problem. I'm just saying it helps. It's an incentive. They know that. Bye, G. G just left for a minute because he's got to do something. Did you watch the Star Wars trailer?
I did actually watch the Star Wars trailer.
Yeah.
I saw it on the document, and so I watched it.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Also, the Rec Room has a really sweet Star Wars game. I really love that. Yeah, that was actually super fun. The Star Wars trailer, it was kind of red herring-ish, I feel like.
There was like a little screaming muskrat at one point. And everyone seems to like that little thing, and I'm just like, what is this animal? What is this tiny? Why
do we have to love this? Yeah.
What is it doing here?
I think that I think it was interesting. Like they're trying to not give away too much, but they're trying. I think it's because they are trying to make sure that this trilogy isn't a rehash of the original trilogy, so they're trying to not give too much away overall. However, I don't know if you saw this, but like the director who made a tweet, like he was like, people were asking who the Last Jedi are. They're always gonna ask him and stuff like, what does the title refer to? And he like straight out tweeted, it's Luke. like like he legitimately just said, it's Luke Skywalker. You know, that guy. He's the Last Jedi.
Take all the characters that we know of it in it.
Yeah.
How many of them are Jedi?
One.
Luke.
that be him. That be the Jedi. That is the
Jedi.
last. Yep.
Rey's not a Jedi.
Yeah. My favorite part about all that is like
stormtroopers are Jedis.
people have been speculating 'cause since they saw like the title card, you know, first released and everything. They're like, well, you have to realize that like the Jedi are like, you know, Jedi itself is a, you know, both a plural and a singular term, so it could mean like a whole bunch of Jedi, like, or something like maybe there's something more to that. But I just love the fact that the director was just like, it's Luke. Just tweeted it out, it's Luke. Just take it. You're gonna just give me your money. You're gonna see the movie anyways.
Well, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong at all. Like I know that Alfred, who's not here because he's too busy playing with some of those strange things that we saw in his drawer. He has already pre-purchased opening night tickets.
Oh man.
I know, like a small handful of
I would
our
ever do
friends.
opening night anything.
Yeah, it just seems. You know, I'm kind of an anti-fan. Like I like enjoying things at my own pace. Like I know Rick and Morty has been big for a little while, and I was just like, I'll join Rick and Morty when I've got nothing better to do. And you know, like if it's enjoyable, I'll keep following it. If it's not, I won't. It's fine.
Yep.
Like I don't need to be part of that, right? But it looks pretty.
It looked good. It looks like
It looks pretty much like the first
want
one.
to see.
Yeah, in a sense.
I really do hope that they go in a different direction compared to like the original trilogy, because drawing parallels from A New Hope and what was the first new one? What was it?
What? Oh, the one that just came.
Yeah.
Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens and A New Hope. You can draw so many parallels between the two that
Welcome back.
that movie does
Hello.
almost feel like a rehash. So I really do hope they go in a new direction.
I mean, it was a rehash minus, you know, useful information.
Yep.
But not saying it was a terrible movie, just it was missing a lot of things. New Hope was a standalone movie. You could watch that. It was solid on its own.
Yep.
If you watch Force Awakens, you're like, but I have so many questions, and everybody's like, just wait till the next movie. So I hope they do a better job.
I'm kind of a fan of that idea as well. Like, I get that, you know, cliffhangers kind of exist as a method for people to buy into maybe like seeing the next movie and all that.
Cliffhangers I can deal with when it's like a TV series or like something like that. Not a movie. Like, come on, seriously.
I'm kind of in that same boat where it's like, wouldn't every trilogy be improved by being better standalone movies?
Yeah.
Or like,
I don't know. Like, I agree with the general point of what you guys are going with, but if they intend to make all three movies, and like Star Wars owned by Disney now, there's no question they are all going to get made. It's not like they're going to just stop.
Yeah.
I don't mind it so much. Whereas like the first Star Wars, A New Hope, it was so experimental, and George Lucas was not George Lucas yet.
He was Jorge Lucas, an independent filmmaker from
so
Mexico.
much just to get that movie made that there was no guarantee there would ever be another Star Wars again.
But that was the thing,
So
though.
it had to be a standalone movie.
That movie was made in such a way that it was good on its own.
Like I was saying, like RoboCop, the first movie is a great movie on its own.
Yes.
The next two kind of sucked. And they were like, they played off a little bit of each other, but they lacked several different things, and including the lead actor and the original director. But but like, so like, you know, there's a little bit difference there. But I'm just saying, like, it's like a movie series is different than a TV series because you're not getting a continual flow of information that is consistently deployed. So because of that, you're left like when you're left wanting, it's kind of a real cheap trick, I feel like. Whereas like if you just make the first movie is really good by itself, second movie still follows from the first movie, but it's also just really good on its own, people just want to watch like a complete story.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what? Yeah, I can completely get behind you.
Like, have you ever, let's put it this way, did you watch Lord of the Rings?
Yes, and the first one left me so salty because it didn't end.
Yeah.
It just stopped,
But-
and it didn't give you the end of the story, really.
If you gave like a more solid like stopping point, right, you would have been more satisfied, and you would have seen the second movie, and then I'm just saying that like a solid standalone edition means that like doesn't mean that people aren't going to see your second movie.
Yep.
Right? But I get it. It's cheaper probably to do things that way, and
Sometimes it can be a lot harder to write the story in that way as well.
But at the same time, like, okay, one movie that I saw, maybe not recently, but a little ways back, John Wick, the first one. Solid fun, great movie, standalone.
Yes, agreed.
John Wick 2 comes out, I was like, whoa, what is this? I didn't expect it to, but I watched it, and I had fun too, but
It really left itself open for a third one.
it intentionally left itself open for a third one.
which makes it not as fun.
Yeah, it made it not as fun, because I'm like, okay, that was a lot of fun, I enjoyed it, I like this part, this part, this part, but I only have half a story,
Yeah.
That's fair.
and that annoys me. If
I don't
I want stuff like that, I will read a book series. I will watch a TV series. Series are there intentionally for these reasons.
Although, you know what's even worse than a movie that doesn't finish itself? A series that ends on a cliffhanger at the end of the season
And it gets canceled.
and gets canceled.
Yeah, that's happened a little too often. We all know a couple of examples of that, and it hurts every time, especially if it's something you love.
It's true.
It hurts.
But
yeah,
that's actually
in that case,
another
I guess
that's another reason to
We
actually
can all
have
agree cliffhangers are the worst.
Yeah.
yeah, we have effectively changed your position.
You
You're
have,
like,
actually.
screw it.
I was on the fence being like, if they intend to do all of it and finish the story,
Well, they always
no,
intend
no.
to, but sometimes they don't have the
know
ability
what?
to.
fuck cliffhangers.
Firefly was intended to have multiple seasons. Meh.
Yeah. You just can't guarantee
Did they
it.
even have one full season? I don't think they did.
Like,
They almost did.
I just want to point out
But
that,
was
even
that was all like Fox was doing.
I just want to point out that successful series don't necessarily mean that they're going to get continued either. I mean,
This
like,
is true.
People like Futurama,
Yeah.
right?
And that went away and came back a couple times.
Yeah, exactly.
It did eventually finish itself.
Yes, but I mean
So,
that's
to its
but
credit.
you can't always guarantee that.
But they had to work really hard to get that finished.
Community was really popular.
Yep.
It finished via Netflix, I think, if it's finished at all.
No, it finished via Yahoo Video.
Sure. Like all I'm
I
saying
have
is
never heard of that before.
Community?
No, Yahoo Video.
Yeah,
I don't believe that's a thing.
no, it was the Community definitely ended weird, like really weird. The last season. That
I'm
they
not saying
had
it was all good. I'm just
was
saying like
very, very
sometimes
strange.
sometimes in their search to kind of give a series its completion, its finale, they have to go through some real bad avenues, and they lose maybe essential parts of the cast.
Yeah,
all
and
that stuff,
sometimes
so.
they just don't have the ability to make the ending that they really want to. I used the example of Firefly earlier. The story for Firefly was massive, but they didn't have the ability to
didn't have the
give it
backing.
all. So what they did is they got the ability to make a movie to close it all off, and so the story was changed.
Yeah.
There was a ton more stuff that they were supposed to like go through, and we were supposed to learn about all the different characters and this and that, but they just couldn't do it. So they made that movie and they wrapped it up with that movie.
No, it's just I think we've beat this dead horse enough.
Yeah.
But it's just people. I think everyone understands exactly what we're getting at. We only have a little bit of time left, but before we go, does anyone want to talk about Blade Runner? Because we've heard a lot of good things.
So
I watched the Blade Runner 2022 short, and that was great.
did you watch the original Blade Runner?
Long time ago, and I feel like that movie had really bad pacing. It's looking at the runtime of it. It's not as long as I thought it was.
But you thought it was longer.
Yeah,
Was it because maybe you were younger at the time and you were just like, oh, I don't really get
possibly.
what's going on?
I might have also been drinking at the time.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't really help. Blade Runner is definitely one of those ones where you got to think a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Activate some, instead of killing brain cells actively, you need to actively use them.
You actively watch the movie and pay attention to things.
I remember enjoying it at least once, and then I also remember being like, what is going on? Why is this taking so long? Multiple times.
Yeah. So for me, it's been quite some time since I watched the original Blade Runner as well, but I do have some fond memories of it. Certain aspects of the movie were really enjoyable to me, and as such, I will be watching the movie as well tomorrow. The only reason I didn't go on opening night or anything like that was because of the madness of opening nights. I can't really do that, so...
That's fair.
I wait a little bit, and then I go on a Tuesday when it's cheap.
I'm morally opposed to opening nights.
But Tuesdays are good.
Hell yeah.
And Wednesdays now, too, for you.
Damn.
Yeah. I have not watched the original. I watched the trailers. I have heard some things. I have read parts of the original book that it comes from. Because I am mostly a book reader first and foremost. It is intriguing. I've heard that watching the first movie will help more than anything else, but the second movie does okay by itself. So I might skip the original movie because, again, I'm not much of a moviegoer.
That's fair.
Most of the time. But I might still watch the second one because, I don't know, it just seems like a decent time, and it continues on well. So that's pretty important because Blade Runner, the first one, was a good standalone movie.
Yep. That was the thing. It was a good standalone movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, that's pretty much all the time we have for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. We want to thank, again, Dance Energy and Voice Dubs for sponsoring our episode and for helping Otafest out. We always really appreciate that. And if you have any interests in sponsoring us as well, there's lots of ways you can help us out, not just volunteering. That's pretty much it. If you like what we're doing, please follow, subscribe, or follow our Twitch channel for stuff as well. Hopefully we'll see you at our next couple of events. This is Jay. See you later.
Angelo signing out.
This is G. See you on Twitch.
Take care, guys.